Welcome to Jeju Island! So Jeju Island is generally a flower wonderland, and we have come here to Camellia Hill to experience the explosion that is these beautiful flowers all around us. With an entrance fee of 10,000 won, Camellia Hill is one of Jeju's most famous flower parks, and it's easy to see why. You'll probably spend 2 to 3 hours here depending on how many photos you take, and trust me, there are a lot of photo spots. While flowers are definitely the main attraction, there is more to see. Charming paths, little garden houses, and seasonal displays that change throughout the year. We visited on a cloudy, misty day with light rain. Very dreamy, very moody, but I hope when you get to come, there are clear skies and sunshine to, give it for that perfect opportunity. So this place is ideal for couples, for people who just genuinely love flowers, and of course, people who need new Instagram photos. Step back in time and see traditional Jeju, where we got thatched roof, stoned walls, and stories that are older than your grandmother's kimchi. Now, the houses here are absolutely beautiful, especially when you get like blue sky in the background with some mountain views in the background, colored with the homes. It just looks like a painting here. We were lucky enough to explore just one of the homes, but we got to see inside to see how people may have traditionally lived all those years ago. And it was definitely very cool and interesting to see. Now, one way that you can make your visit even more amazing than it is already than just walking around. We've seen some people walking around in hanboks. So you can rent out a traditional hanbok, and that will make for even better photos, and it'll make you feel a little bit like a time traveler, walking around the ancient village dressed up in local wear, local clothing. Now, for other local stuff you can do here that might make your trip a little bit more interesting, we did see an archery place as well as a place that may make alcohol, but unfortunately they were both closed, so we wasn't really able to check it out and see what it was. Now, this one isn't quite like the touristy one. This old town is still lived in, and that's part of its charm. It's quiet, calming, and perfect for a slow walk. You'll probably spend about an hour wandering the lanes here, but there are some cafes and restaurants and places to rest if you want to stay a little bit longer. It's kind of a place that feels timeless. There is another location which isn't currently lived in that is more like a museum, and it's more like a replica of the old town and the old style houses. We didn't get to go to this one. However, you do want to go to both and get to check them out, and I don't think whichever one you decide to go to is a problem, as you'll get a great experience at both of them for sure. I'm sure we just wanted to see the one that was still lived in. And one quick tip before you come here is to make sure you know when you can get the bus. The bus schedule isn't as easy as it may first appear. They often don't run so regularly, they run irregularly. So you make sure, if you miss one bus, you may have to wait quite a while until the next one, or you're going to have a very long, very beautiful scenic walk. Mont Blanc Café is a beautiful cafe garden, kind of secret hidden gem that screams romantic drama scene. You come here, you take 45 photos, you have a tea or a coffee, and then you take another 1,000 photos, and then you just keep repeating that again and again. And it is one of the most beautiful designed cafes on the island. The gardens are immaculate, the views are stunning, and the whole place has a peaceful, also cinematic vibe. It's the kind of spot where every angle feels like a magazine cover. If you're looking for a place that really shows off Jeju's natural beauty, then this is it. So Mont Blanc Café has a 6,000 Korean won entry fee, and we think it is totally worth the entrance fee to come into here. Comparing this to Camellia Hill, Camellia Hill is a lot larger and a lot bigger and is more seasonal. This one is smaller but much more beautiful in our opinion. There are some great views in both, some great flowers in both. We're going to have a great time in both. But this one feels a little bit more like a hidden gem, and definitely something that we think you'll enjoy a little bit more than Camellia Hill. However, visiting both isn't really that bad. We landed in Jeju City and we also stayed in Jeju City, and this place is definitely very cool. This is where you're going to get a lot more variety in restaurant options, you're going to get more variety in shopping options, and we all know Korea is a great place to shop. So spending some time in Jeju City is definitely going to be one of the highlights of your tour, as it's a great little city with still good fashion style, good shops and good eating options. It's definitely a great place to hang around and start your trip, as it's easy to get around the rest of the island from this location. No trip to Jeju is going to be complete without visiting at least these two big locations. Except ours, apparently. Hallasan Volcano, Jeju's mighty mountain and the highest in South Korea. Whether you're hiking or just admiring from afar, it is impossible to miss, as you can see it throughout most places on the island. The second one, Seongsan Ilchulbong, also known as Sunrise Peak. Come early if you want to catch the famous sunrise or just enjoy the views from the crater. It's breathtaking either way. Unfortunately, because of some travel issues, we failed to see everything we wanted to see and didn't get to explore these locations this time, as we were here for other reasons, like flowers. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. Now, there was one more location we did go to, and that is Udu Island. However, we have another video dedicated solely to that island, as it is a pretty amazing place and deserves a little bit more time than a short section here. But definitely consider going there if you are here in Jeju. Now, let's talk about food, because Jeju definitely knows how to feed you well. We didn't plan every meal, but honestly, every bite was a winner. One of Jeju's most famous specialties, and yes, we tried it in Black Pork Street because of, where else are you going to try it? So black pork, the meat is slightly darker and slightly richer than regular pork, with a unique smokiness and a slightly firmer texture. It's grilled to perfection by one of the waiting staff, thankfully, and served with dipping sauces. But if I'm being honest, we also ordered beef, and the beef still wins the crown for me. Black pork is definitely worth trying for the local experience, but beef is always going to be the MVP. Abalone, aka edible sea snails. Yes, we ate sea snails, and they were surprisingly good. They have a slightly chewy texture and a mild ocean flavor, and are often grilled or served in soups. However, we did also try the abalone rice porridge, and let's just say it was an experience. Not horrible, but I probably will make this a one-time thing. Hairtail fish. This one surprised us. Super tasty, soft and flaky, with a mild flavor that goes perfectly with rice. It came with a full set of dishes, Korean side dishes, and everything on the table was amazing. We definitely recommend trying to find this one. But the real game changer for us was dessert. Is this chilled jelly dessert, light, refreshing, slightly sweet, with a subtle herbal flavor, depending on the one you get. It comes in many flavors, banana, chocolate, and it also has seasonal flavors as well. We got one every single day, and even made bonus trips back to the airport, as that was the closest location for us to buy it, to get this light, refreshing and sweet taste. This one is definitely addictive, and this is a 10 out of 10. I would buy this anywhere in the world. Okay, drinks in Jeju. First one to try is Camellia Hill tea. Now, this is locally sourced, very local, the tea is all grown from within inside Camellia Hill. Local, fragrant, and perfect for the long walk. The taste was light though, but the smell was fantastic. Always got to try the local beer, the local alcohol. Jeju Beer Company. I had a beer from one of them. Tried their local brew, and honestly, this was better than the beer I had in Seoul. Not to bring too much disrespect to Seoul's beer, but this one was actually a really refreshing beer that I really enjoyed. Went great with our fish. Hallabong juice. Hallabong is a type of tangerine grown only in Jeju. The juice is very sweet, refreshing, and it's basically like sunshine in a bottle. Now, speaking of tangerines, as you probably know, Jeju is basically Tangerine Island. They are everywhere. Tangerine in cookies, chocolate, soaps, plush toys. Even the juice comes with a fun bottle that is shaped like Jeju's famous stone grandfather statue, which I believe is called Do Hallabong, as my Korean pronunciation just gets better and better every time I speak it. But you won't be able to leave Jeju without being offered tangerines in some form. And honestly, you shouldn't leave without accepting some of these tangerine-styled gifts, as they are very famous here, and it's kind of what the island is known for. So Jeju's food and drinks was one of the highlights for us on this trip, as they were all amazing, pretty much, with a few exceptions. From grilled meat to quirky desserts, it's a food island with a surprise in every bite. Now, getting around Jeju is pretty straightforward. There are two main options for you. You can rent a car or you can take a bus. Now, the bus system is what we decided to take, as we did not rent a car, and it is surprisingly good. It's all very clean, it's pretty cheap, the stops are well marked, and it's easy to follow. If you're not comfortable driving or you just want to take it slow, the bus can get you around the island perfectly. But there does come a catch. Buses are a bit irregular and travel times can be very long, especially for short distances. We tested it out. For a long cross-island trip, the bus and the car take about the same time. However, the car is obviously shorter, as you're not making regular stops to pick people up. But for shorter trips, and this is the catch, so we wanted to go from Mont Blanc Café to Hello Kitty Island, which is very close together. But the bus was going to take over an hour, and walking was not an option. Whereas if you had rented a car, it's only a 15-minute drive. So while the bus is definitely doable, it does require patience and probably a very good playlist. So if you want more flexibility and don't want to rely on bus schedules, we definitely recommend renting a car. It's the best way to see Jeju at your own pace, especially if you're hopping between cafes, beaches, and random road trip worthy stops, which there are many. So we didn't rent a car, and this is our biggest regret because we wish we did. So we haven't exactly got too much information on renting cars. However, by a quick check, we did see that it seemed reasonable. However, you're going to have to do a little bit more research than what we did into it. Moving on to the apps we use. Now, this time we only used 2 apps as opposed to the 4 apps we used in Seoul. Here, Naver app is the only map app you're going to need. Unfortunately, Google didn't quite have the same level of reliability with the buses as Naver here. So for any bus routes or any walking journeys, we just use Naver. I'm probably pronouncing it correctly both ways. The second one was K-Ride. Because we didn't rent a car and sometimes the buses were taking too long to get to locations, or the bus times were a bit long to wait, we decided to use K-Ride several times, and we had zero issue with it. Except obviously the more you use K-Rides, the more expensive it's going to become, considering the price of a bus to a K-Ride is a lot cheaper on the bus. However, K-Ride worked perfectly well. You can link it up to your bank card or your Alipay, and you'll be able to travel around Jeju Island no problems. We stayed in the Astar Hotel, and it was very good in terms of what we wanted. The bed was very comfortable, and the shower was very nice. The utilities were very good. Now, there were cheaper options, but we didn't think they were necessarily in the best location. A Star Hotel is very well centered in Jeju City, not too far from the airport, not too far from the bus station to allow us to get all over the island. And the breakfast there was amazing. Now, it wasn't included in the price, so we only got it one day, and you can just come in and get it generally. But yeah, the breakfast we had the one day, we did have it one morning, we did have it, was fantastic. Absolutely delicious breakfast with lots of options, all very tasty. We ate way too much that morning. So overall, we'll definitely recommend a Star Hotel. And so that is Jeju. A magical blend of volcano, flowers, oranges, and even Hello Kitty if you have time to go see it. So we have mixed feelings of hindsight is 2020, wish we got a car, but it is what it is. We still had a great time, and it only made us more determined to come back here and visit again when we have the opportunity, probably in a few years, to get to see everything that we missed this time. But as they say in Korea, and you say, oh.